All right, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome. We're going to go ahead and start with some music. We will have a couple of songs before we get started for the event. But welcome, everybody, for the Muslim Immigrant Workers Gala Museum and Exhibit launch.
اسمعوني جيبوا شباب ومئات البنات نطلع جبل الهوا ببلاش ما بدنا حدا يطلع نشاز ارفعوا كاس كل الناس بتعمل حماس عنده صوت نكسر ازاز ازاز اريد كل ولد لبن من بلد لبلد يرتبط بالسمي ومستحيون ما في فرق بينه وبينكم ارفعوا ايديكم ليكم وسعوا الكلمه مني السلام عليكم الحقوني هيدي رقص الأندلسية وهيدي دبكة فلسطينية كتروا الشعب اللبنانية 100% هي ثقافية ومناسبية عالمية وتراثية ها حقيقية وطنية طربية عربية أي شيء غربية شرقية السلام شوفي ننظر من الصبري دبتنا الأساس زرقي ما شوينا مالكي أوستوري خبري لك الشعر وري Stop puza chargul, tapa sarkere da khanda. Aule wale wazire, shundi desre pe tandasa. Stop puza chargul, tapa sarkere da khanda. Shundi desre pe tandasa. Stop puza chargul, tapa sarkere da khanda. Yo despina ho gaye, dizne khande patasa. Hale wane bamikre, jine chidana krekoi. Aule wane wazire, shundi desre pe tandasa. Stop puza chargul, tapa sarkere da khanda. Aule wane wazire, shundi desre pe tandasa. Stop puza chargul, tapa sarkere da khanda. Tu t'envolais, jeden Timen, vetem tutkan, Habibi. Tu t'envolais, jeden Timen, vetem tutkan, Habibi. T'envolais, jeden Timen, vetem tutkan, Habibi. T'envolais, jeden Timen, vetem tutkan, Habibi. Living in the West, but the East got the best of me. Could be looking in my eyes, but you never really see the rest of me now. Can you hear me, my city? Smiling was what I'm blessed to be here. حمام السلام استحي أجنحتك يبطير. وين الوعي وين؟ امشي معي هين بين الجبلين عين حب الطرفين. امهاتنا حبت ذاتنا مو عجبهن سباتنا. هذا الحكي بين اخواتنا زين العرب والامريكان. والله يرحم كل امواتنا. اغاني مثل امهاتنا اذا ان العين العين مصفى عن نعيم الشام. ولاد الشام من فلسطين لجبال لبنان قبل ما اخترعوا الحدود من اسكندر ولا كردستان. جنسنا خانتنا خانونا اولاد العم بس دمنا دمهم بني ادم بنوا ذنبهم على كتافنا شلنا همهم ليه؟ الله بيعلم بس لك الفتاش وبسكيت احسن لك من 100 مليون مسدس. تعرف ليه؟ لانه مو عجبهم رسمتك بس تبتسم رسمتك. شاب عربيا ومثقف تعطيه لسه مو راضيين. ذكرهم كلام ايديا نصف طين ساعة انه طين. هي قضاء وقدر يا حبيبي. Can you hear me, my city? Smiling was what I'm blessed to be here. I write right to left, you write left to right. Metaphor of a foreigner's plight, dressed in tight. Stereo and a mic, scenario of a fight. The burial of a white, imperial at his heights. A Turkish rap is the light, Semitic etiquette might. Just have your roll in your auras, poetic and light. And grab a hold of your sorrows to relieve your tomorrows. Make it easier to borrow the aesthetics you fight. Like all the Arabic loan words from Spaniards and Maras. The karma of Inquisition visions of horror. So Uzi Explorer really was a Columbus, Muhammad al-Idrisi, or Ralph Baragnas. Throw a house and job so I can figure it out. I'm gonna start with a cipher, that's the stuff of no doubt. So you might not have learned to live with me, but sure as hell can't without. I'm a gesture. It's hard living in the West when I know the East got the best of me. Could be looking in my eyes, but you never really see the rest of me now. Can you hear me, my city? Smiling was what I'm blessed to be here. حمام السلام استحي أجنحتك يبطير. Sure living by the G code. What the fuck is fleek though? Don't ask them, what do we know? What I forgot is better than whatever they remember. Never mind, I'm off it, it's quiet form. Time to put the temper tantrum to the quiet corner. Hush, that's enough, said the ruler. No suckers allowed to break bread or asunder. The daylight lighting in the thunder. Sun, moon, stars, and the hunger. Abundance and bundles, blessings and troubles. Towers and tunnels, views and valleys, waves and peaks. Streets shoot from sun, planet Earth. And ain't scared of no Mars attack. The type of bars is that. Stay off my jack. I'm out there calling Ryan Gomez, top 5, dying on them. Super fly, slicker, top rope. He can dive on them. You wire lying, homie. You won't play with my emotions, smoky. Big chief, heart rate, big beat, B-E-Y-I-C, straight jacket, come clean. Big said it was a dream, now it's a living thing. We're showing living kings, I mean it, I mean it. Y'all seen in the heart, I mean it, I mean. Original man, son, one son, I mean it. Straight jacket, come clean, y'all seen it, y'all seen it. In the heart, original nation, we burn solid river.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Darakshan Raja. I am the co-director and co-founder of Justice for Muslims Collective. I hope you enjoyed the opening Muslim International set that I put together. It is very much a celebration of the cultural work that Muslims have created all over the world, as well as of those of us in the diaspora. I am so thrilled to welcome you all to the launch of our Muslim Immigrant Workers Gala tonight, our exhibit and our museum. This project was conceived of almost 2 years ago, with really from a personal place, as somebody who's the daughter of a sanitation worker that comes from working class South Asian immigrant Muslim communities. For me, as I have grown up, I've seen that there has been an intentional omission of working class immigrant Muslim narratives. And so for me, this project is very personal. And also I know for JMC as an organization that seeks to build power of Muslim communities in the greater Washington region. We cannot fight for justice or center justice without centering the margins of our communities. And Black and brown immigrant Muslims who are working class are part of those margins. And they have been fighting. They have been building power. They've been organizing. They're resilient and they're resourceful. And so that is what today's event is going to be about. It is really about hearing directly from Muslim workers. As part of our project, we're so excited. We were able to feature the stories of 5 immigrant Muslim workers. You will hear from 3 of them, and you will hear from them about their visions for power, about what power means, what it means to build community, what it means to fight, what it means to be resilient in the face of incredible obstacles. And I think particularly at this moment, when we are still moving through a pandemic, we know that the Delta variant is about to be resurgent, and we know that more than 500,000 people have died in this country because of the structures of the state. And we also know that during this pandemic, it has really exposed to us whose labor is fundamental and foundational and is backbone of our cities, our communities, and our country. And Muslim workers are part of that. And so really grateful and thrilled to invite you all here tonight, to have you all here. I really hope, we do have a link on YouTube, so please do go ahead and share it on your socials. Please invite others. Please share the word. For us, this is not necessarily the end. Our hope is to continue to build on the particular museum, to have more stories. And really, this is part of JMC's commitment as an organization to building and supporting working class Muslim communities in the region, working class Muslim immigrants. And so this is not going to be the end. This is really just the start. And so we're really thrilled that all of you are here tonight. So definitely share and spread the word. I'm also grateful to my incredible team, the JMC Muslim Workers team and the labor team that has been throwing down really over weekends, nights. So much work has gone into putting this. And of course, you will hear from all of them later on tonight. So with that, I'm excited to bring on one of my sheroes and one of our first speakers, who is going to be Representative Medina Wilson-Anton. She is the first Muslim woman to be elected into Delaware's state legislature. And so we're so honored that she has sent a message to us. So we'd love to hear from her. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you to the Justice for Muslims Collective for inviting me to attend this beautiful gathering, and a belated Eid Mubarak to you all. My name is Medina Wilson-Anton, and I represent one of the most diverse areas in the state of Delaware as a member of our House of Representatives, and I'm honored to be the first Muslim elected to the Delaware General Assembly. In my role, I represent Muslims across our state, and I want to take a moment to express how phenomenal the Muslim Immigrant Workers Washington, D.C. project is. So often when our community is recognized, it's in a way that diminishes and dismisses the diversity of the Muslim community. I'm sure you've all heard something similar to Muslims are doctors and lawyers and engineers, used in response to Islamophobia or bigotry. But Muslims and Muslim immigrants are more than just our careers and contributions. We're worthy of dignity and respect, and we're worthy of all that our country has to offer, because we're human. And as a state representative, I'm fighting for economic, racial, and social justice for all Delawareans, because I believe that the struggles of all working people are interconnected. and with true solidarity, I'm confident that we'll move towards a more just society. Islam is a religion based in the concept of social justice. Throughout the Quran, we're told that the believers enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. A big part of this responsibility lies in recognition of our power as individuals and as a collective. Through building relationships and trust within our communities, we have the power to improve the quality of life for our neighbors and right injustices. I believe it's our duty to do that. There's actually a pretty well-known hadith in which it's narrated that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "Whosoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand, and if he's not able to do so, then with his tongue, and if he's not able to do so, then with his heart, and that is the weakest of faith." This hadith addresses the dynamics of power and encouraged me to pursue political power in my community. It should encourage all of us to do what we can to bring about positive changes. I'm so excited about this project, and I look forward to hearing the voices and stories of Muslim immigrant workers and their visions for a more just future for all of us.
Thank you so much to Representative Medina Wilson Anton. Again, a shero of mine. And also, I think in this moment, we've seen the ways in which Muslim communities are building political power. And so really, really grateful and deep gratitude to her for sending us this powerful message. With that, I'm really excited. I think one of the key sort of pieces of tonight's event is the launch of this online museum and this exhibit. And again, to my knowledge, I don't know of many other exhibits. I actually don't know of any, but still, I'm really excited that there's going to be an online space where we're going to see particularly the narrative of working class immigrant Muslim communities built by working class immigrant Muslim communities. And so with that, I want to bring on one of our core leaders within the JMC Muslim Labor team, Eric Martinez Wrestley. Just want to send a deep appreciation to you, Eric, and deep gratitude, because the vision of really incorporating the culture organizing aspect and building this museum was Eric. So I'm really, really grateful, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Eric, and we will see the launch of the exhibit.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings to all of you, and thank you so much, Darakshan. My name is Eric Martinez Wrestley, and I am a cultural organizer, a digital strategist who had the incredible honor of helping to make this happen. And I'm so excited to officially launch the Muslim Workers Museum. You'll find this museum at justiceformuslims.org/museum. And this museum is really an effort to build a narrative by and for Muslim workers, and one that challenges the dominant respectability politics that ascribes value to certain classes of Muslims while erasing and marginalizing working class Muslims. So the first exhibit in this virtual museum is the Muslim Immigrant Workers of Washington, D.C. And when you go to justiceformuslims.org/museum, all you got to do is click on Enter the Exhibit, and you will find yourself in this exciting exhibit. In late 2020 and early 2021, the team conducted oral and visual histories of 5 Muslim immigrant workers through the DC Oral History Collaborative. And that was important for a number of reasons, one of which being that the interviews that were collected are going to be included in the official city record. And these interviews focused on how the workers are treated in their workplace, the obstacles and the discrimination they face, as well as their hopes and their dreams, their journeys of joining and participating in labor movements, and their visions of what is possible for the future, for Muslim immigrant workers, for the Muslim community, and for all of our communities. And so this exhibit begins with an opportunity to meet briefly each of the workers, and then is broken up into different sections. And you can jump to each section here if you want to move through this in different ways. Otherwise, you can just keep on scrolling. The sections are initially courageous faith, Muslim labor, dominant systems, and finally future visions. And for each of these sections, as you will see, it's incredible. You'll find images that each of the workers shared for inclusion in this exhibit. You'll find quotes that I suspect will stay with you for a while. You'll also find excerpts from the interviews, short audio clips that you can listen to that give you a sense of how each of the workers speaks to these different themes. You'll find photos of the workers when they were younger in some cases. And it's an incredible collage of experiences, of stories, of reflections and emotions and visions. And I don't want to give too much of it away. You have to go to justiceformuslims.org/museum at the end of this event. But I just want to say it has been such an honor and remains an honor to work with this team and with these workers to make these stories heard. And I believe all of our responsibility in hearing and in witnessing to a story is to then act on a story and to carry forward the visions and the truths embedded in each of these stories that call us, I believe, to a better world, a more just world, and a more loving world. What an honor to be part of this. Jazakallah khair.
I'm just taking a minute, everybody, because it's just so powerful to see the online exhibit. And yeah, I'm grateful to, Brother Semi, to Brother Ismail, to Sister like Hayat, to Sister Maryam, to Ahmed, like all of them, because they really shared themselves with us. And who they are, where, all of the places they've come from and their visions. And literally, I really welcome you all to listen to the audiograms that are taken from their interviews that talk about, where they talk about their own stories. And so I would really, really welcome you all to, go on the museum and check it out and listen. And as Rev said, also act upon those stories. And also my deep gratitude to literally Anam and Eric, who worked so tremendously hard to put all of this together. It's phenomenal. And what a beautiful and grateful moment. So if y'all are in the chat, please do share love for our incredible workers, for also the team. This is a lot of labor of love. And also please share it. Take your time to sit and read those stories. And you know what? There's a lot of resonance when you read the stories of everybody. It might remind you of your own family, your own stories of moving around, of being displaced, of what that looks like. There's so much resonance. So again, just taking it all in at this moment. And so now we're going to move into another powerful performance by Amira, who also goes on Instagram by Amira Unplugged. She's a songwriter, she's a singer, she's a leader, she's an aspiring attorney. And also she is the first Muslim woman hijabi to make it on American Idol. And I mean it, y'all, when I say y'all are going to be blown away with Amira's performance. So with that, we're going to have Amira come up.
Before the sun begins to shine, ooh, I'm gonna start moving toward that separating line. I'm waiting for mighty water. You know I gotta make up my mind, yeah. can for my people. When the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones, and I know what's around the bend might be hard to face, 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I tried. Sure as stars filled up the sky, stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, stand up. Far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. Yeah, I go to prepare a place for you.
Standing ovation, y'all, if you are able to. Again, drop some major love for Amira Unplugged. Mashallah, what a beautiful voice. Follow her on Instagram. I know when I first heard her, I was like, wow, mashallah, what talent. And also just, you know, so much beautiful talent in Muslim communities. Like, we are really, really blessed with all the amazing people we have in our community. So please definitely follow Amira. And again, that was powerful, beautiful. Thank you, Amira, for sending us that for this particular event and everything that you do. With that, y'all, I'm really excited now because we're going to move into a fireside chat with the incredible workers who were featured in the museum. Y'all are in for a treat. I'm going to bring up one of our other core leaders, my sister, Mariam Abdul Karim, who has been with us, really organizing, spearheading this, who was the one with me doing the oral interviews, the oral history interviews. And so I'm going to bring up Mariam Abdul Karim, who is also JMC's racial equity and racial justice advisor. And she will be facilitating the fireside chat and will introduce Brother Ismail, Sami, and also Mariam. So Mariam, come on.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Salam, welcome. Whew, I'm so excited. I will try to contain my excitement so we can get to this conversation, inshallah. Welcome, everyone. As Darakhshan said, I am Mariam. I'm the Racial Equity and Justice Advisor here at JMC. I'm so excited, so get hyped, y'all. We are just really grateful to be able to have this fireside chat with some of the incredible Muslim workers who are featured in our Muslim Immigrant Workers Museum, as you just saw. And I'm so honored to be in conversation with you all, to celebrate you all, and to reflect on your wisdom. It's been truly amazing and inspiring working on this project, mashallah. So before we jump into questions, I think it would be great if we just start off with introductions, you all introducing yourself. Mariam, do you mind starting us off with just introducing yourself to the folks here, inshallah?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Mariam, Sami, Ismail, and everybody who's watching. My name is Mariam. I live in Washington, D.C., and I am one of the participants of the Museum of Muslim Workers. I am a Muslim worker myself. I was in the service industry and the event industry pre-pandemic, and also like during the pandemic. It was a little bit difficult to carry on the job, but anyway, we're still, we're going on. We're going on and life goes on. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Mariam. Brother Sami, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you so much, and Mariam and Ismail. Yeah, my name is Sami Borma. I live in Alexandria, work in Maryland, Grooville. Been in my job for almost 20 years. Been in organizing for just like another 19 years. Yeah, so that's me. Because I don't want to take it too much for introducing myself. There's a whole lot. As a Muslim, especially, it's like with that GMC to put that opportunity to all the Muslims to know each other, to meet each other, especially like in a Zoom or in such a technology. It's just blessed.
Mashallah, mashallah. And Brother Ismail?
Okay, assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Ismail Ahmed. I'm from Ethiopia. I came to the United States in 2018 with my family. I have a father of 2 kids. I work as Uber and parking attendant, and I do some organizing stuff with Sami. That's all. I think it's enough.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. So let's jump in. Let's jump into our conversation. So I'll just start with a question for everyone, and just sort of delving deeper into what does celebrating Muslim workers mean to you, and why is it important? And anyone can start. Feel free to just jump in.
I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, it's thank you again, GMC. Thank you, Drakshan. Thank you, Mariam, for spending a lot of time to put that a program together. That's for myself, or as a Muslim and as a person trying to build a Muslim community, it means a lot to me. For me to see, we start, it's like putting ourselves together. Start knowing each other, not necessarily to be your neighbor or somebody living around the area, even from far away. It's just like right now, every one of us in a different area and different city, but you still will communicate. We're trying to build, we're trying to create something. So that means, to celebrate that, and then passing that pandemic, it just blessed. During that pandemic, is kind of like a new door open to us, to recognize ourselves, to recognize our Muslim brothers and sisters, to say, hey, we're still here, let's put our hands together, we lift one another. Just like when we go with our hands like that, it's not the same. But when we put our hands together, they come all the same. And then we're going to have a power to lift anything. And we become as equal. So all the time when it's like, building something, you try to use your power. You have to shrink your fingers. When you shrink your fingers, they come all equal. They come the same, and it's like the same heights, and you be able to lift whatever you want to lift. So that is really celebration to me. Bring our Muslim, brothers and sisters together to know, and it's like, hey, we around, we're gonna find any person who, it's like saying Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, we lift them up. We make sure we are strong. Like we build our good community.
Thank you, Brother Semi, starting us off strong as always. And so I'll leave it to either Mariam and Brother Ishmael to answer, what does celebrating Muslim workers mean to you?
I'm just gonna jump in. It is very important. Actually, it was about time to shed the light on like a whole category of Muslim Americans who were quite often forgotten. We were forgotten. We are. I never felt like we are that much celebrated, because I feel like the Muslim American community has always had this burden to overcompensate and more like celebrate more like the success stories, like the doctors, the business owners, the engineers, and all of that. But like the workers, the blue collars, the backstage soldiers are always left behind because we always felt like there isn't something special about like Muslim workers. But I think Muslim workers are the majority, make the majority of the immigrant parents of those success stories. Like the success stories, most of them came from like working class Muslim workers who were diligent enough and resilient enough to make it for themselves and for their children. And I am so happy that we are like with this initiative and with the museum, we are like bringing our patch to this beautiful mosaic called the American community. So I think it's very, very important that we are part of the narratives.
Okay, let me continue as a question. In order to explain this, what does it mean for me for celebrating the Muslim workers? In my belief, I have to start from the is there any legal issue concerning about Muslim workers in this country? As I told you before, I came like 2018 on June 2018. Now I was new for this country, and I have 2 kids and with my wife, and I came up to the city. So I don't have any idea about Muslims, how they organize, how they do. But I try to search and to read something about the legal protection of the Muslim co-workers in this country. I see there is some amendment Act of Right, which is published like I think it's in 1964 or something. But most of the employer does not respect that act, that right act, which is discriminating the Muslims, not only the Muslims, but also any religion discrimination is protected by a law on this country. But we see, according to the information, now Muslim co-workers have different impacts on their work because of their religion. So some of we can be on the prayer, because Islam prescribes like 5 times in a day. So how do we make pray on co-worker, how they understood, and in addition to that one, on fasting, Muslim holiday. When I came here, I faced these problems. And in addition to that, the food system, because Muslims have some restriction on food. So most American Muslims contributors for this country in different profession, but they didn't respect their right according to their law. So that concerning about this one, in order to a better understanding of Muslim co-workers will achieve this country from whatever country comes. So that for me, celebrating Muslims worker is very important. It is very important for me. So we have to celebrate these Muslims co-workers and organize in a power. So celebrating this co-worker is very important for me. It has some meaning for in my life also. I learn from I didn't learn from my country. I learn from here when I work here because I face different because of Muslim.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, all three of you, for those powerful responses. And I feel like Brother Ismail, just a perfect segue, right? We start with the celebration of Muslim workers, Muslim immigrant workers, which is so important. And now I kind of want to go a little deeper into what kind of keeps you motivated in the work, the reason why we celebrate. There's so much work that is put in. And so I know Brother Semi and Brother Ishmael wanted to answer this question around sort of what keeps you motivated to continue doing this work, to organizing and giving so much to those around you.
Okay, Sami, you continue or let me? I can continue. It's okay. For me,
Yeah, except okay, you go ahead. I follow you.
yeah, you mute, so let me continue. As you know, what I'm motivating to work hard is, as an educated person, I understand what people's motivated, what things motivated me. I know what things motivated me in my life principle. I think the three important things that I can motivate is, the first one is, as you know, is familiar for everybody, is money. And the second one is recognition. And if I do something, then there must be some meaningful things for me. So these three things are important for me in any ways. Not only the third, both of three are at the same time, but in different ways they make motivate me. But the special one is when helping community, or especially Muslims, it gives meaning for me in my life. This starts from my family. When I see a meaningful hard work on my family, I see some meaningful feelings in my life. So, and I will escalate this best experience to the neighbor, then to the community. That makes me very motivated to work hard.
Thank you so much. Brother Semi?
Yes, that's awesome, Ismail. Yeah, what it motivated me, I'll go back, it's like a little bit when I started my life in Middle East, when I know myself and Saudi Arabia. Like my father, I'm originally from Sudan. When my father moved from Sudan to Saudi Arabia, meet my mom and have us, and she's from Niger. As me, I'm from Sudan, my wife from Niger, so I just followed that. So what I see my father doing back in Saudi Arabia, never think about himself. He think about, it's like people who coming in new, didn't know nowhere, and did struggling to get the Umrah or Hajj or something. So, my father, is like by another house to just welcome whoever come immigrant, in Saudi Arabia, to stay in there, eat and sleep until you finish your Umrah or until you finish your Hajj. If you continue to stay in, to see where your family member are until you find, then you go, or if you want to go back home. So that carried on with me until I get here to the United States in 1998. So that's whenever I think that back about my father, they motivate me to figure out and to see and to dig, is anything I can help, all right, for any situation, all right, I will step in, I will do it, and that's the things as well, like keep me going on. Like in my job in NIH, I start from not knowing the language, immigrant in a big account, more than like about um, 37 buildings or more, to put myself in there, to keep digging to find, somewhere to help, because I see those workers who in there, especially when trying, to take a day for Eid or for Hajj or something for religion, it's getting hard to get that off. So I get into that the time when I start really organizing. I was organized, but I didn't know what organizing mean at that time. But when I start doing, it's like, longer you talking to people, you feeling people, you helping people, it's like you make sure like everybody treat equally, doesn't mean you're organizing. So that's kind of the, like the things in myself to find out. So I carry that on, they're making me to work harder and harder to know more, to find out more so I can help other, So especially the holiday, so I started, I fight it hard, and people get up and we fought it hard, and we put those two holidays, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Hajj, to put it in our contract without no asking question. You will take that day off automatically. If it's like there's nobody to work except you, they have to give you that day off. So that's one of the things that keep me motivated, keep going on and on. And the things during this time, when that pandemic hit, and everybody kind of like wondering, what to do. Everybody lock his door, everybody's sitting down. That's the, another things that make me not to sit down and just say nothing we can do. God give us a brain, God give us a mind, to think, to figure it out, to act. So that's one of it's like, start organizing and to find, especially like, our brother and sister Muslim, to see how we can help. And one of the things I really appreciate all the time, my wife, is like, okay, whatever you do, try to see if there's a Muslim people, trying to talk to them, trying to, it's like, to know them, especially the ladies and all those, so I can, get out there too as well. So that, they keep motivating me to keep pushing myself to get into, the whole organizing system, to find myself, one of the, organizing, especially as a Muslim community, and as a Muslim worker.
Thank you so much, Brother Samir. That's so powerful to hear about what motivates you and Brother Ishmael. Speaking of power, how powerful that is, I'd like to kind of go into the next question and reflecting on power. I guess we can kind of start with Miriam and Brother Ishmael on this question of how would you define power for yourself and your community?
I'll jump in. I think like power, as far as I'm concerned, like personally, is like this energy that I bring outside to the world. As a Muslim worker, doing my job properly, it's power. Solving somebody's problem is power. Bringing a smile on somebody after a good service is power. And as a community, I think our power is our resilience. This is in the core of our faith, is like sabr, patience, resilience, planning, يمكرون ويمكر الله والله خير الماكرين, which means like they plot, and Allah is, and Allah plot too, but like Allah is the best plotter, which means like it's, as far as I'm concerned, this verse means for me that we always have to have a plan. We always have to, to be smart, to make like the next, like to calculate our feet, to calculate the next step, and not be in a hurry. These are like the teachings of our faith, and that's what brings us power, like the power of building slowly but surely. And
definitely abide by that, and I believe in that. And if it weren't for the patience, the resilience, the, you know, all of those values, I would have had a lot of problems. I would have had like a nervous breakdown, especially like during the pandemic, when you see like everything, you're like your whole life is falling apart. You lose your job, you lose everything. And if you didn't like really go back to those core values of our, you know, our faith, and really believed in them, you would probably lose it. And but like our faith and our religious teachings are here to like keep us strong, and again to give us power. So yes, that's how I feel about power for me and for my community.
Thank you. That was powerful. That was so powerful, mashallah. Exactly. Brother Ishmael.
Okay. Unfortunately, I was a physics teacher for the past 10 or 14 years in my back to my country. So I can define this power in physics, in science, and in the community, and in myself also. So let me start from what power means in physics, and I try to interconnect with the community, or what most organization or most community understands what power is. But in the science or in physics, power is, you know, defined as is the amount of energy transferred per unit time. So if you do more works within a short period of time, then we have a good power. But in some organization, they assumes power comes from out in. That means from the community to the single. They define like that. In other ways, the power also defined, it comes from in to out. That means from person to the community. So in every transitivity, we can remind this one. But for myself, I can define this power in different ways. The first one, I can define power is energy. Power is energy. That means everybody has its special energy, its special power. But knowing that special power is difficult. The person who knows his special power is the one who is at the peak. The difficulty is knowing his specialty, special power, or special, we can say, energy. Let me tell you my backstory. I was when I was young, I wanted to be an engineer or a pilot, but unfortunately, I go to school and I was a physics teacher. So I don't know my power, but I like physics, I like maths, and I teach. I like teaching, but in some circumstance, I get some chance to be a school director. When I am a school director after teaching like 2 or 3 years, I know my special power, that is leading. So I define that power as it comes from in to out. For me, power is from in to out. That means if I have some power, and if I wanted to share with some group or some community or some organization, that power will transfer. But the amount of power or energy that transfer is based on my capability. So I can define like that. So power can be, scientists also agree, power can transmit or can transfer from one person to the community. When I was a school leader, a school principal, it says there is some proverb like, a school looks like the leader or the director. My school looks like me, and I have won some prizes because it looks like me. And from this we can understand that if I have a special power, then everybody in community and in organization can have their own this shareable power will be divided to every community. So for me, power is special things that brings energy, clarity, confidence. Especially confidence. If you have power, you will have confidence. So if I have confidence, my community will have confidence. That's how I understand power is for me and for our community.
Ooh, that was powerful. We got a physics lesson and like this internal spiritual power transforming like energy. That was, mashallah, that was so beautiful and so powerful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. So talk about power. There's so much power in this space, even in this virtual space, alhamdulillah. And all the folks who have shown up to support and celebrate and learn and just be in celebration with us. And so the final question that I kind of want to end on is, and this is for everyone, I'd like to ask, what is one thing that you would like folks to walk away from this event knowing or remembering or taking away? And we can start with anyone.
I will start, definitely. And yeah, can you hear me? I hear like kind of like silent. Okay. So for me, what is, I think is to take away from this beautiful celebration, remember, where we came from and who we are, and now here we are, as a Muslim. Never we thought, and we're gonna come here to United States, we build ourselves, and to start having voice, and we have a voice, we start having people to be elected, and here today we start, celebrating, we start celebrating, and celebration, that's one of the things, we're gonna put in our mind all the time. And yeah, I remember we celebrate that, so I want everybody to to put it in your mind. That is not the beginning, and that is not in the end. All right. So we continue when we build it, inshallah, that is gonna be, is a big vision to all of us, that Muslim celebration. Sorry for doing the Zoom. We did it and outside in the street celebrating, Muslim workers. So that's for me is a good take it out to remember what happened today in that meeting.
Thank you so much for this, Ami.
Let me say, in general, I can say from this unforgettable, or I can say I don't have words to express for this team, but we can. The first one is unity is strength. First one is unity is strength. What we take from this, and the second one and the important one is we have power. Everyone has its own special power, and try to find that power. So if we get that special power, then we Muslims can reach whatever we want. We have a law here in this country, so the employer or the organization owner must respect that law. If we have power, if we organize, then we can achieve that one. So know that we have a special power. Everyone has a special power.
Thank you so much, Brother Ishmael. We have power. Unity is strength. Whew, that one really hit me. And Mariam, please bless us with the last word.
Sure. Definitely. I'm just gonna repeat it. Unity is strength for sure. One for all and all for one. I want to say that we're here. and we're here to stay. And nobody's gonna have to change that or like try to like deter us from our goals or our achievements. And we do not take no for an answer, and we do not take yes for granted neither. So yes, we're here, the Muslim workers. Remember that every time you go to a restaurant, or to when you ride an Uber, or when you have a delicious meal cooked by somebody with love, even if they don't know you, but they put all in their self in that service, in that product, or in that whatever thing you got from a worker.
Alhamdulillah. Whew. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you for sharing your voice and your vision, and consistently and constantly enriching this space and this project. As I reflect on what it means to really work towards justice for Muslims as a collective, the power and presence of Muslim workers, Muslim immigrant workers, the racial and ethnic solidarity is definitely essential. And we know that labor and labor organizing has always been vital to the fabric of change, right? And we can see that and hear that in your wisdom that you shared with us today and the online museum. So just so much gratitude to you all. Thank you so much. Everyone, please check out the online museum to continue to be blown away. Thank you so much, Mariam. Thank you so much, Brother Semi. Thank you so much, Brother Ishmael. And with that, I will pass the mic back to Darakshan to introduce our next speaker, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Incredible. Whew, I have teared up many times. This was so powerful and moving. Again, gratitude to you all. Thank you, Mariam, for facilitating. Thank you, Mariam, for dropping the mic. Thank you, Brother Semi, Brother Ismail. You all are just gems. For everybody tuning in, if folks could just stick around for literally 10 more minutes, we still have some words from Representative Rashida Tlaib, who will be speaking. And also with that, I do want to say we're going to do another drop, y'all. In addition to the museum, we were honored to work with Sania Ahmed, who is our artist, who has actually taken the visions from the different interviews with all of our workers and actually created imagery and appropriate that represents that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Sania, who's going to talk a little bit about what the process was to make this artwork.
I'm Sania Ahmed, and I'm the illustrator for this artwork. When I was asked to make this piece, I felt so honored, and I was excited to read all the interviews of the Muslim workers and to get ideas and inspiration from their words. After reading them, I understood what each person wanted in their life and what they wanted for the future. Collectively, they all wanted to build a stronger community where they're cared for, listened to, valued, and respected. They all wanted to help other Muslims in the country and people immigrating to this country who don't know how or where to seek help. I wanted to portray that community feeling here and the effort they put in. I illustrated them standing together in front of a mom and pop shop, reaching out to others and standing up for a cause. I wanted to represent their individuality too, and by collaborating ideas with the people at Justice for Muslims Collective, we came up with a few ideas for incorporating the people's motivations and work life. There's Ahmed Zia on the left delivering food. Mariam is in her restaurant attire and holding a baby to represent working class mothers. Sami is a cook, so he's holding up a sign where he's participated in protests. Also, there's Ismail handing out flyers for school funds because he mentioned how Muslim schools were not affordable. Lastly, there's Hayat putting a poster on a pole that has one of her quotes on there about how she's proud of being a Muslim. She also spoke a lot about praying, so I added a prayer mat near her. I also put the Capitol building in the background to represent DC, and there's also a street sign. But I also added it because we need systemic change in this country for Muslims. I wanted to include a mosque also because it not only symbolizes Islam, but it also is about community and Muslims coming together. I intentionally made the mosque look similar to the Capitol building because there are a lot of people out there that are Islamophobic and xenophobic, and making the mosque have similar architecture to the Capitol building was my way of saying that we're here to stay and we're going to build a bright future for Muslims in America.
Beautiful. Again, grateful to Sonia. She's actually going to continue working with us. In addition to the powerful image that you all saw that literally comes from the multiple interviews around the vision for what workers want, particularly within the DC region. She's also going to be building out portraits for every single worker that will be also featured on the museum. We are so, so grateful to Sonia and her brilliance, thankful to her art, and thankful for actually getting the vision of what we wanted. And we hope that you all also enjoy and appreciate the art that we have co-created. With that, I'm going to actually move on to our final speaker. Representative Rashida Tlaib needs actually no introduction. She is one of the first Muslim women to be elected to Congress, first Palestinian American. She is also from a working class background. She has been unapologetic, has been fighting, and also is really reshaping, I would say, the ways in which Muslims can show up within the political arena, not only for our communities, but for all communities, and in order to fight for social justice. So with that, we're grateful for Representative Rashida Tlaib and the message she has sent for us.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone. I'm Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, and I'm so incredibly grateful to be with you all today for the 2021 Muslim Workers Gala. The labor movement in our country has historically been one of the strongest forces of social justice and community empowerment in our country, and that remains true today. It is for that reason that I'm excited to participate in an event like this that recognizes the importance of labor organizing and the contributions of working class Muslim communities to our nation. As some of you may know, I am a proud daughter of a UAW worker, a union member on the assembly line at Ford Motor Company. And that was decades ago, but it's still to this day, I learned the importance of human dignity in the workplace. It was my father that taught me the essential role that unions and labor organizers play in protecting workers and leading the movement for economic justice in my 13th district of Michigan. From auto assembly line workers like my father in Detroit to halal cart and bodega owners in New York, cab drivers in Minneapolis, Muslim American laborers are a vital part of the United States. It is crucial that we, as a community, recognize the impact of labor and the importance of joining unions in fighting for economic rights of all Americans. As Muslims, alhamdulillah, we know that our faith teaches us to stand for justice, and that includes economic justice. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, specifically mentioned how God condemns those who do not pay their workers what they are fully owed. And it's reminders like that to our faith that keeps us all grounded and inspires me to continue fighting and advocating for everyone. I want to commend all of you for the work that you continue to do on behalf of not just our Muslim American community, but our marginalized working class Americans in our nation. I learned from a Black pastor in Detroit that we are a country that's not divided, but disconnected. And the work that you all are doing is connecting so many people across the country on the importance of human dignity in the workplace. Thank you again for inviting me today, and assalamu alaikum.
Again, we are so, so grateful to Representative Rashida Tlaib for sending us that beautiful message, and for remembering and honoring that Muslim workers, and that the labor movement is critical and central to any social justice movement and movement work. And so with that, I also want to make a call to action, everybody. In the last 2 years or so, JMC has been doing a lot of work to respond to COVID-19. Even this museum and the narratives of Muslim workers is an integral part of our strategy of actually building power among working class Muslim communities. As part of that, JMC is committed to actually continuing to fundraise for our Solidarity Fund for Muslim workers. In the last, again, about a year and a half since the pandemic, or more really at this point, we have moved $200,000 or so directly to 200 plus families in the DMV region to provide support around rental relief, around medical bills, anything that you call it. And this year we had launched a specific Muslim Worker Solidarity Fund. And with that, we have actually supported 25 families already, with an emphasis on specifically working class Muslim mothers. And so with that, we're going to drop a link for y'all. We are going to continue fundraising, again, as part of JMC's work of building power. We want to commit to always having a fund that will provide direct relief to our community members who are struggling. We know that the impact of this pandemic is going to be long-term. Unfortunately, even when the rest of the country might move forward, we know that our workers in particular are going to still be impacted, are behind on rent, are facing evictions. And so there's a lot of work and need in our community. And so in addition to that, we are also going to invite you all, please definitely keep connected to JMC. We are so excited to continue building with Brother Semi, Brother Ismail, Mariam, everybody else, with so many workers and so many folks also who've been part of those who have received support from JMC, that we want to continue supporting their leadership, because again, we want to be here for our community and be rooted in community. So that is our major call to action that we would really love and support if you could pass the word around. So with that, we're coming to a close for the evening. And I want to make sure that we give a shout out and have our all of our team that is present today that made this actually happen. There is so much work in the background that, has been happening for the last almost 2 years, from the JMC Muslim Workers Labor Team to our JMC Labor Advisory. Really, without them, we would not be here. So I don't know if folks want to spotlight everybody. I think it'd be grateful for people to see who the team is. Mariam, whoop, whoop. Eric, Anum, yes. Yes, Mariam, Brother Ismail, Brother Semi. Y'all, this has been the incredible team that really has, for the last 2 years, been working on this project and has literally worked weekends, evenings. This is truly a labor of love. And also, it's the folks behind JMC that make this work happen, that collective. So inshallah, we will continue to build it. You will see double the number of people who will be moving this. And that is my hope, that after tonight, all of you actually also join us as a collective. The power is within the collective. So with that, deep gratitude to you all. Please definitely check out the website, share the word, join us at JMC. And again, assalamu alaikum, everyone.